many individuals can each of your facilities support on a day-to-day basis?
So each one's a little different because of the space and the size of the facility.
Hmm.
We are licensed through ACHA, which is the agency or it's I should know this.
Acronyms,
Yeah,
acronyms.
it's Florida's governing body for healthcare facilities. ACHA. Why can't I drew a blank. But
That's okay.
so they determine how many patients we can serve at each facility
Okay,
based
so
on
it
our square
varies.
footage. Yeah. Um,
Oh, gotcha.
our St. Augustine facility, I believe, right now is licensed for 45. We currently have a census right around 32. Um, yeah, so we're getting close to that capacity, but yeah, every other center. So I think our largest right now is our newest center in Lake Park, the West
Hmm.
Palm area, is licensed for 85.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
it's a
people.
it's a massive building. You know,
That's,
so typically what happens is we grow out of the building
hmm.
and need more space. Here, we made sure that we're going to grow into the building. So as we're
Ah,
not going to have that need for more space. Our St. Augustine location, we were licensed for less, but uh, it's one of the ones that we don't own the whole building and we
mm.
lease the space and we actually had to take over other units in that building to accommodate the needs.
Oh, wow. When it comes to like a support team, CNAs, nurses, therapists, is there a specific ratio to individuals you have to keep in-house at all times?
Yeah, that's a great question. Our ratio is 3 to 1,
Okay.
and it rotates based on the amount of children. So every 3 kids, the first three is an RN,
Hmm.
the next three would be a CNA
Okay.
or a direct care personnel, and then the next three is a LPN, and then it starts back over. So then we go back to the RN. So it rotates like that.
Ah.
So then RN, then CNA, LPN, CNA, RN.
Oh, that makes sense. You have the different levels of experience
Hmm.
all in there. And so there's a checks and balance system. That makes sense to me anyway. So, what really makes Tender Care different from other PPEC organizations?
Um,
Did I say that right?
yeah, yeah, you did. You
Am I
did
getting
say
the
it
terminology? Because I
right.
definitely said it wrong at the beginning.
Well, you might have said it wrong at the beginning, but by the time we leave today, you'll have it right.
I
You know,
feel so educated.
so the one thing in some areas it's not very well known, but in Florida we have I think 156 now PPECs throughout the state. Most
Wow.
of them are concentrated down south. Um,
Okay.
they're growing in different areas, more city areas, but there's more and more coming. But what makes us different is we were the second or the first independently owned PPEC in the state of Florida in Fort Lauderdale 35 years ago.
It's pretty
Um,
fantastic.
I could tell you a little story if you want about that.
Sure,
My
please.
so I explained how it's family run and operated. My
Hmm.
my wife's grandfather started it, and when my wife's grandmother was in the hospital at the Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa,
Hmm.
she was sick, and when the grandchildren would go visit her, she'd have to go down to the children's area of the hospital to visit with the kids. They wouldn't allow them up to the area where she was in.
Hmm.
So, she wasn't doing well, and she told my father-in-law and his dad that, in my memory, I want you to find something to do with these kids, because they were looking at starting a new venture, and she said, I
Mm.
would love if you could do this. And they somehow or another found a nurse that wrote this paper on the concept of PPEX, and they originally started with this group to get it going.